Same story every single year. Apple introduces the new iPhone and says how awesome it is. The internet goes crazy and says how bad it is. And then there is me, telling you how good the new iPhone really is. The iPhone 16 Pro has a new display, new processor, new cameras, new button and more battery life. But should you buy it? Or is something else the better choice? The iPhone 16 Pro looks like the iPhone has looked for 5 long years. And that is exactly what Apple is going for. It's all about brand recognition. You see the 3 dots in a cafe, at a concert or in a mirror selfie and you know this is an iPhone. First the frame was round, then it was angular and now it's more round again. Recognition value is well and good, but even car manufacturers do a facelift every couple of years because they want to go with the times and correct mistakes. And the iPhone design does have problems, like the fact that the cameras stick out further than on any other smartphone and they get very dirty and they are difficult to clean. And every year the frame changes just enough to make you buy a new case. The reason for this is this year the new button down here, Camera Control. Pressing it once opens the camera. Pressing it lightly brings up a small menu. You can swipe to zoom. It takes a little getting used to this and it's anything but ergonomic in portrait mode, but once you are used to it, it's a very nice feature and I've never seen it anywhere else. You can control the entire camera without changing your grip, and soon you will be able to control the camera function even inside of other apps. I had the feeling that Apple wanted a solution to a problem that didn't even exist, and I forgot about the button most of the time. Well, until I pressed it accidentally, which happened every single day. The official Apple cases did not recognize my swipes every single time, and the camera control does not work with gloves. So it's somehow a step forward and one step back, and if they add a new button every single year, we will soon be back to BlackBerry. The frame of the iPhone 16 Pro is made out of titanium. It's no longer brushed, it is now sandblasted. In addition to black, white and titanium, there's now desert sand. That's a gold champagne color. Only if you buy this color you will have the feeling of holding something new in your hand, because all the others look exactly like the iPhone 15 Pro. There are 2 display sizes and both have grown, 6.3 and 6.9 inch. This is the largest iPhone ever. I mean, it's just shy of 7 inch. Next to it, an old iPhone looks just tiny. But the devices themselves aren't that much bigger because the bezels are now even slimmer. Those are the slimmest I've ever seen. They look surreal. It's like just holding a screen in your hand. The display has beautiful colors, deep contrast and an extremely high brightness. It's a good screen. Normally I wouldn't even mention 120Hz and the fact that there's an always on display because it is standard nowadays, but both of it is missing in the regular 16, so well, now you know. The display glass is new and according to Apple 50% more durable. I can't really test it, but of course I'm happy about it. It would be even cooler if the iPhone had an anti-reflective coating like the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It looks like OLED 2.0. At the top end of the screen there is the dynamic island. It is housing the front camera and Face ID, but it's also kind of a dynamic widget. I do think it's good, but I was hoping for more features now that it is in the 3rd year. Which brings me to the software, iOS 18, and well, it's more Android than Android itself. You can now place the icons wherever you want, finally, and you can make them bigger without a font. That is nice, but why is the gap down there as high as the Burj Khalifa? And you can now color all icons black or even in different colors.
Brother,
I guess iOS 19 then has the cookie font like Samsung used to do? But I haven't even shown you the worst yet, the new quick settings. Visually, I do like them, and the fact that you can edit them right away means I no longer have to go to the settings. But why is the arrangement so buggy? And why can I add the same feature as often as I like? I mean, it's really endless. The Apple in the past would have never done this. The good news with all the new features is you don't need to use them if you don't like to. iOS is beautiful to look at. It has lovely animations, everything runs smoothly. And there are things that are really only available on iPhone. The Apple Watch, AirTags, AirDrop, iMessage and the connection to iPad, Mac and Vision Pro. If you have several Apple products, you benefit from how they interact with each other and it's difficult to get rid of them. But I'm only waiting for the phone call of my mom because of the new photo app, because it is very complicated and I don't think that this redesign makes sense. It was good as it was. The biggest new feature is Apple Intelligence, but here in Europe it's actually blocked, so we can't use it. Until next year, there will be no support for French, Spanish, Chinese and German. And it's not really clear when it's coming. So till then, we still have the old Siri. And how good that is, you know. Fortunately, you can set the action button to go straight to Google or ChatGPT. They won't be able to access your calendar or your contacts, but it's better than nothing. Apple Intelligence is a great thing and everything I've been able to test in the US looked good and worked extremely fast. My biggest concern is that 8 GB of RAM will be insufficient in the future and you won't get all the new features. That's why the Google Pixel 9 Pro has 16 GB and the iPhone 15 only came with 6 GB and does not even support Apple Intelligence. Of course, Apple developed a new chip, the A18 Pro. But it's not about how much faster the CPU or the GPU are. Here are the numbers if you are interested though. It's about how intelligent the NPU is, how quick it can process artificial intelligence. And well, it is twice as fast as the iPhone 15 Pro and in other words, smarter than you and me combined. It is an impressive processor, but I didn't notice any speed difference between the predecessor or other smartphones because all of them are crazy fast these days. The Samsung Galaxy, Google Pixel or iPhone, they all feel the same and they all will get updates much longer than you will use the device. What is important to me in a processor is efficiency and battery life, and the iPhone 16 Pro is a big improvement in that regard. When I was going to sleep, I still had 40% left. I got usually 7 to 8 hours of screen on time. This is the best battery life I've ever had with an iPhone and one of the best on the market. Unfortunately, I could only test the 16 Pro Max, so the one with the bigger battery. Based on my experience, the smaller model will have 20% less battery life. Both of them can charge with USB-C or wireless with G2 and MagSafe with 25 watts in 30 minutes to 50%. Although every company is now allowed to use MagSafe, only Apple does with one exception. So this means that only the iPhone can benefit from the huge selection of chargers and accessories. When you're watching an iPhone ad, you get the feeling that Apple is not really promoting a smartphone, it's promoting a camera. Well, how pro is the new Pro really? Although the cameras look the same, everything is new. The main sensor is faster. The ultra-wide angle now has 48 megapixel, that's 4 times more pixel than before, and the 5x zoom is no longer only in the large but also in the small device. But how big are the differences really? It depends on the situation. The ultra-wide angle, when used in HEIF Max, is a tad sharper than before and also has a little bit less noise. It also has a new anti-reflective coating which reduces flares. I do think that the macro mode on the iPhone is very nice. Since the iPhone has a very bad close focus distance, it constantly switches to the ultra-wide angle. So the fact that it is now sharper helps with a problem that shouldn't even exist. I do think it is a good ultra-wide angle, but it's not the best out there. The main camera looks very similar to the predecessor. So it's nice and sharp. Even at 2x it looks like 1x. The colors and dynamic range are very balanced. It's a relatively neutral look. I do think the contrast is a little bit off. Skin tones do look good, but skin is also a little bit soft. It's like the gamma is off or something. But other than that, you can just point and shoot and you know you will get a nice image out of it. I do like the 5x camera very much. I take most of my pictures with it actually because I do like the focal length and the look it gives. It has a similar look to the main camera and the sharpness is very believable. Some cameras tend to oversharp here, but the iPhone does not. And the best thing about it, that it's also available in the small size this year. There are new filters built in this year. There are some subtle ones, which I do like, and some are more extreme, and they do remind me of Instagram 2015. With the Google Pixel, you can now not only remove objects from images, move them and resize them. You can replace the entire sky or the ground and use artificial intelligence to add things into an image. You can even add the person that is taking a group picture into the picture. Is that going too far? Maybe it is, but Apple is going too short in that sense. iPhones are known for making the best videos, and the new processor and sensor enable 4K videos at 120 frames per second. This is spectacular for making slow motion, and it looks very good. You can also shoot in ProRes log for the maximum image quality directly to an external SSD. This is all very impressive and definitely the best video quality I've ever seen on a smartphone. However, Sony smartphones can also do 4K 120 FPS for a while now and on all three lenses, so Apple still has room for improvement. So is the iPhone the best smartphone camera? In my opinion, it is not. It's neither Apple or Google or Samsung. I do think it's Oppo and OnePlus. But the iPhone is very good for just point and shoot, and photographers will really benefit from the RAW files because they are very rich in data. Conclusion: more screen, more battery life, more performance and more buttons. There are a lot of tiny things that make the iPhone a solid upgrade, even if Apple Intelligence is not available in your region. But if it is, it's probably one of the biggest upgrades yet. But still, people think it's quite boring. And why is that? I think it's because the competition has LEDs, pens, folding screens in small and big, and even screens that can fold 2 times. The iPhone every single year looks like the iPhone the year before, and it feels like an iPhone and it behaves like an iPhone, but it's just a tiny bit better.